Hi everyone and welcome along to this week's quick fix. Sometimes the quick fix needs to be less about painting like technical solutions and painting sort of more mental solutions of just sort of what to paint when you're a bit bored or you can't get much inspiration. Well, today I was feeling a little bit like that, and I thought, well, what do I love to paint? And I was like, I don't know, I paint all sorts of things all the time. And then I thought, well, what do I just love? I love food. So I thought a lot of you love watching me paint those circles on end. So I thought, why don't we take that to a slightly new level and paint some donuts? So don't laugh, it's actually a really addictive thing. What I've just done is I found something round to draw around. If you don't have a compass, you could always use one of these, but I just used a lid of a jar, and that got me a really nice perfect outer edge, which means then that the inner edge, the inner circle you do for your ring donut, doesn't have to be quite so perfect, because you accept that one is fine. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to do some like pretty crazy glazed donuts, and it's the glaze of the donut which really got me thinking this is a really cool thing to do in watercolour. So I've got a nice size 6 brush. I've got some permanent rose that admittedly had a bit of blue in it from a previous project. And what I'm doing with my brush quite vertically, I'm just painting around the edge. And again, it doesn't really matter if you go a bit wobbly, again, because having that perfect circle as a guide is just really brilliant. And now what I'm going to do, clean my brush off and just paint in the water, but I'm also allowing for little bits of unpainted space. And then I'm going to take some more permanent rose and just paint the middle outwards. And it's just really satisfying because already we've got ourselves a really nice glazed donut. So let's do some really fun colours, some probably full of artificial colouring and E-numbers, which is not very good for us, but hey, we're painting them, so it's fine. So again, notice how I'm holding my brush quite vertically. It means that I can just control the sweeping round, but what we must do, we must work quickly to get that other colour in there, even though obviously we're allowing for a little bit of unpainted space. But what you don't want is sort of harsh lines where you were looking for blends. So at this point, if you were like wanting to sort of get back in there with colour and water, maybe just leave it, because we're going to be doing some fun decorations on top of these donuts. And now I've got an orange one, so I'm just going to do that one in the same style as these two, and then we'll do some decoration. Now these are dry, we can think about some decorations for them. So what I've done is I've just mixed up some of the really bright, vibrant colours in my palette, and I want to basically paint sprinkles on this donut. It's very important that you've got quite concentrated colour to be able to paint these sprinkles on properly. And it also helps certain paints just are naturally thicker than others when it comes to watercolour. So this is cadmium red. Cadmium is the key word there. It's just a slightly more opaque watercolour. I'm using my 2/10 brush and I'm just painting a squiggle, a sprinkle here and there. I've got cadmium yellow next, and it also holds up pretty well on top, which is pretty impressive for a yellow in watercolour. So I'm just going to have a lot of fun building up the sprinkles on top of this donut. So those colours show up really nicely on top of the wash. Also, we could use some solid opaque white. I'm just using some white acrylic here, and if I just add a little bit of water to it and just get it just a bit more malleable, we can turn it into a lovely kind of drizzle for our white, for our blue donut. And I'm going to use this 2/10 brush here. This is quite a good opportunity to actually show some of the roundness of the donut by just sort of curving your drizzle. And then what I think I might do is let that dry, and I might then just take a different colour, something like a permanent rose, and I'm going to just sort of add to it. While I was waiting for that to dry, I actually dotted lots of the white paint onto that one to make a nice sort of sugary glazed donut. But I'm just going to turn it around so my hand doesn't touch all of that, and I can finish off this one. So I'm just sort of messing around really, and that's the whole nature of this kind of thing with the quick fix. But I just quite fancied just painting in some permanent rose, almost as if it was some kind of two-tone stripe, or I don't know, a raspberry ripple kind of drizzle. I basically just went and looked up online just glazed donuts, and because I just really like them, and I must apologise if this sets off any food cravings that we're all now going to rush out and buy some donuts. But essentially they're just a really fun thing to paint, in my opinion, and I just think you can keep finding new decorations and combinations to put on them. So anyway, there you go. If you're a bit bored, not sure what to paint, why not try a glazed donut?